We ready? Okay, call to order. Take a roll call. Harold Chin, present. Doug Edwards, absent. Steffi Kuntz.
Here.
Sergio Monzalvo.
Here.
Skylar Clark, absent. And Sam. Nope. Mr. Kim.
Present. James.
James Kim, present. Okay, we have a quorum. First, we'll have an approval of meeting agenda. I'm sorry. First, approval of meeting agenda. Do I have a first? Do I have a motion?
Yes.
Second?
Second.
Okay, meeting agenda is approved. Presentation reports, quarterly reports.
Board members, this is just a category we've put on the agendas that'll be here into the future. So for the reports we receive from each person or each entity that has an agreement with us or a ongoing relationship, when we receive a quarterly report, we're going to attach them here. We won't necessarily have a presentation, but it will provide the disclosure that it's out there. It's part of an agenda and the public will have access to it. So look for this on your future agendas. We're just going to, whatever reports we receive will be added in here. So that's what we have.
Okay, thank you. Downtown Development, new business. First is the DDA Application Review Committee presented by Cecil McClendon.
And as we move forward and we've created our new application process, and we have the sort of new process of evaluating applications that come in. One of the steps that the application contemplated is that when we receive a new application, there would be a committee of the board who would be able to come together, do an initial analysis of the application, as well as initial meetings with the applicant, and just sort of look at overarching issues, determine what the scope. Remember, there's a report that an analysis that needs to be done by a third party. Maybe we would develop the scope of what that analysis should be. It's a 3-member committee. And at this point, I'd ask for us to go ahead and appoint that committee so we could have it ready to move forward with applications. So just a nomination, if y'all did a nomination and a vote on the nominations to appoint the committee.
Okay.
I'll nominate Harold Chin and Sergio.
Okay. And I'll nominate Steffi Kuntz, and not to exclude James. And the rationales, we've had numerous work sessions where we've been working together, and I think as far as all the details on what we wanted to incorporate, at least on this initial session, that I think the members that have been nominated are appropriate. Mm-hmm. And do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion's approved. Next item, request for approval of joinder by City of Doraville Downtown Development Authority to that certain agreement by and between the City of Doraville, Georgia, and Kaufman Capital Partners, LLC, entitled Master Development Agreement, dated November 18th, 2024, presented by Cecil McClendon.
And board members, as a recent development since our last meeting, the mayor and council have authorized that the 3 pad site developments in the city center project be transferred to the DDA, so that the development could move forward, as well as the ultimate agreements with any third parties, et cetera, on those pad sites. So what we have is as the city put the original agreement together, we did an RFP to put it out to different developers for ideas on how to work with us on City Center. And at the culmination of that, Kaufman Partners, who we've dealt with Kaufman previously, won that RFP process, and they were brought in as the development partner with the city. And as part of that, we put together an agreement with Kaufman, which was the Master Development Agreement. And it contemplated their services and coming in and helping us conceptualize the project, go through engineering, the design and engineering phase, and it'll go all the way through the building of the city center project. That agreement is in your packet, and the mayor and council executed that quite a while back, and we've done a lot of work based on that to come up with the plans as you see them and the process that's already moving forward. As part of that agreement, we did contemplate that there would be pad sites, but we really didn't have a full understanding of how we wanted to move forward on the pad sites. And subsequently, it came up that the best methodology would be to move those to the Downtown Development Authority and allow you guys to sort of work on that project process of the same thing, designing, implementing, and ultimately leasing. And the reason that needs to be in the DDA is because the DDA can enter into long-term leases that the mayor and council could not enter into. So the mayor and council in their last meetings cycle approved the transfer of the pad sites to the DDA. Those deeds are being prepared. We all know Ben, our attorney, Smith Gambrell has prepared those deeds. The mayor will be executing it. And what that will do is move the ownership of the three pad sites from the city to the DDA. They'll be yours. Okay. As part of that, we need to continue forward on the development process, on that development initiative that's already in process and moving forward. And it was determined the best way for that to happen would be for the DDA to just come into the existing agreement that the city had already put together with Kaufman, and you become a party as well. So it becomes a three-party agreement where the city, Kaufman, and the DDA are all parties to it. And that will allow Kaufman to continue their efforts because now you'll be also the client having the pad sites in your title in the DDA. So we need to do this so Kaufman continues to have the authority to move forward with the transaction and moving forward in that transaction. So that being said, the document is attached. Really, it sets forth, the mayor and council have already approved the concept of a joinder. There's some that this may go back to the council just because we didn't contemplate some of the specifics about how the compensation would work for the pad sites, a little bit different from the city hall. But what I'm asking tonight is if the board would approve the joinder agreement, what that'll do is authorize the chairman to execute that joinder, puts us into the agreement with Kaufman and the city, and we're all moving forward to allow Kaufman's development efforts to move forward on the pad sites that are now with the DDA. Questions? Pretty simple document. It has those provisions of authorizing us to join the agreement, setting out the terms of the compensation if we moved into development on those pad sites, with Kaufman being the development partner there, as they were with the city hall site.
Anyone have any questions or comments?
I just have a comment that this makes perfect sense to me, that we would use the same entity for the whole development site, not have the DDA's properties being managed and developed by a different partner from the city hall and trying to communicate between all these different people. It would not be conductive to a smooth process. So I'm really glad that the council, mayor and council saw fit to bring this in front of us.
Yeah, the fact that all of these sites will be moving forward and they're all going to have common spaces that are put together, trying to bring in a new entity really probably would have potentially caused serious issues. So if it's the will of the authority, if we authorize that, that'll let us move forward with executing the joinder. Kaufman will move forward with their efforts on pushing forward on the pad sites.
I'll make a motion to approve the joinder as presented in the packet.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion is approved. Next item, request for approval of joinder by City of Dorville Downtown Development Authority to those certain agreements by and between the City of Dorville, Georgia and Kaufman Capital Partners, LLC, entitled Advisory and Brokerage Agreement dated November 18th, 2024, and Master Developer Agreement dated November 18th, 2024, presented by Cecil McClendon.
This is a follow-on to the prior agenda item, because after we had gotten our development partner in place and we knew that there were going to be retail pad sites for restaurant, retail, et cetera. We also knew we needed to be actively out in the community trying to figure out who would be the occupants of that as we move forward down the road. So as an offshoot of Kaufman becoming our development partner, we also engaged them as a broker to be out looking for the potential tenants, talking about terms, potentially, structuring out the basis of terms for the pad sites as we move forward. Similarly, as the development agreement, we want them to continue that, because as we develop the pad sites, have the spaces set out, we want to be able to sort of be ready with the tenants to move into the space. So it's just a brokerage agreement that ultimately we're looking for the lessees of the space as we move forward. The city has approved the DDA joining in to the brokerage agreement. So that all works, then we would approve this. It would keep Kaufman moving forward on all their efforts to get the pad sites constructed and occupied ultimately. They would be doing it on behalf of the DDA for the pad sites. Everything else is still in the city, so the cities would still be operating for the properties that will remain in their name. Make sense?
Any questions or comments? Nope. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And I may have mixed up the order, but request for approval of the last meeting's minutes. Do I have a motion? Motion to so move. Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any other comments or questions by anyone?
No.
Nope. Okay. If
Motion to
there's
adjourn.
motion to adjourn, second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Go get busy.
Okay.